Okay, chat. ¿Cómo están? ¿Cómo están? It's been a very long time. It really has been. It has been a long time that we have met here. Obviously, it's been a crazy first month for me. Um, if you have missed the news, I am a father. So our baby came to this world about a month ago, and it's just obviously been a very big adjustment for myself, for my wife, and for our home here. So with that, of course, that means that I've not been able to be hosting any of these lives too frequently. Now we're trying to get back into some sort of routine now moving forward. So I appreciate obviously in advance y'all's patience as we go through this process. Because yeah, it's obviously a very very big massive change as it is. We got a new roommate. Yeah, I guess my wife put it very well. We legit do have a new roommate. So chat, thank you so much. Look, I don't even have my flag and my banners out, everything. Like it's just been a whole thing as it is. Chat, let's talk about these World Cup tickets. Let's talk about phase one. Let's talk about all this nonsense that happened with phase one. Because quite frankly, I don't know how to describe it in a way that I want to still provide value to people. I still want to be able to tell people exactly how it went in many respects. But I think the biggest thing that a lot of people were affected by was the ticket prices. I think that we can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt was the biggest sticker shock that a lot of you faced. Okay, and so I'm going quickly to load up the ticket prices right now. And I actually have this information on my website, travelfootballfan.com. If you've not visited there in a while, feel free to go ahead and take a look. But these were the ticket prices, right? These were published by The Athletic, and they are pretty much legit prices because I was helping to contribute to that reporting by The Athletic. They actually reached out to me and were asking me for ticket prices, so I was able to provide some of this information. And first of all, I think that's the first thing that we do need to note, right? If we're gonna create like a history of the 2026 World Cup, and as a history major myself, that's a thing I very much am attracted to in that respect. If we're gonna talk about a history of how this process went down, the first thing we have to talk about is the fact that FIFA did not publish a price table for their tickets. They did not. They completely, they completely just went ahead, opened up the platform to sell the tickets with no transparency whatsoever as to what these ticket prices were. So actually, it took the work of journalists, it took work of content creators like yours truly, and individuals like you, messaging me, messaging journalists as to what these ticket prices were. And so the fact that we have this table down here below is actually kudos to a lot of you who were messaging me during that week of October 1st. Hey, travel, look, I'm seeing this price, I'm seeing this price, and the work that a lot of content creators and journalists had to really collaborate together to verify that these indeed were the prices. Okay, so I think that was the most difficult part of this entire process was we had no clue what the ticket prices were because FIFA never published a price chart of these prices. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up Instagram right here on the side just to kind of have people listen in as well because I know it's been a long time. I want to make sure that they know that they can go ahead and join us on the YouTube live stream as well. Chat, before we continue on this conversation of the ticket prices and as we review, as we do kind of like an autopsy of phase one of the ticket sales process, I want to make sure that we give a quick shout out to a couple of people and a couple of products. So this live is in part being sponsored and supported by Mas Plus by Messi. That's right, the GOAT himself sent me a crate load of Mas Plus to keep me hydrated during these lives, during these office sessions. So again, I want to thank the folks at Mas Plus by Messi for sending me this good stuff. It's actually pretty good stuff. I was very impressed by the drinks. So again, thank you to Mas Plus for sending me the drinks over here. If you want to show your support, okay, for the work that I've done here, for all the travel tips and ticket tips that I provided to you for this World Cup, you can support me at buymeacoffee.com/travel football fan. Okay, you can go ahead and buy me whatever amount of coffee you want. Whatever amount of coffee you want, I will take. Okay, right now I am having a cup of coffee myself right now. Tú sabes que a mí me gusta mi cafecito in the mornings and the afternoons. And depending on how crazy the coverage is, we might have to go late nights too, right? I'm already having to wake up, to take care of my daughter. So, buymeacoffee.com/travel football fan. Buy me whatever amount of coffee you want. Okay, that'd be a great way for you to support the work that I'm doing here. Instagram, thank you for joining in right quick. I am hosting a YouTube live stream right now, so if you could actually join me on the YouTube live stream, that'd be fantastic. I'm only kind of opening this up for a little bit, and then I'm gonna close it down. But you can join me on the YouTube live stream if you want your questions answered. Okay, I'm trying to do only YouTube for today. So yeah, so these ticket prices, right? So that's kind of like the first thing, right? We're gonna talk about an autopsy of this World Cup. FIFA was not transparent on the ticket prices. They never released a full price list before ticket sales began on October 1st. They did not. Okay? This was the price list that we were able to acquire. Now, the problem with this very price list that we were able to put together between journalists, content creators, and folks like you was that a couple of days later, as reported by The Athletic, ticket prices already started changing. FIFA had said they were only going to do variable pricing per phase. That ended up being bullshit. That ended up being a lie. Okay? FIFA started doing variable pricing almost immediately. Okay? Call it light dynamic pricing, and I will spell that Lite. Light dynamic pricing, whatever you want to call it, they started changing the prices almost immediately. It was just insanity what they started doing. So these prices are probably not the ones that we're gonna start with in phase 2, because more than likely FIFA will not go back to these prices. They will more than likely never go back to these prices that I do have available on my website, travelfootballfan.com. They will probably raise the prices. What amount, we do not know right now, but this was all possible because FIFA was never transparent on a price table. Like, had they been in previous World Cups, in both men's and women's, they've always published a price chart of the tickets. This World Cup has been the first one where they did not do that. Okay. The other part of this, okay, we could talk about prices, specific prices in a bit. Okay, we'll talk about that in a bit shortly. But the other part of this ticket pricing price list table that they did was that they tiered the cities, so that LA, San Francisco, and New York, New Jersey will have the most expensive tickets per price. And then it went down to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Okay? So my prediction of, hey, these cities are going to get tiered ended up being true. I will say that I was surprised that Miami got put to tier 2 and San Francisco got put to tier 1. So basically, they said New York and California are the most expensive tickets. And then you went down the list. Okay? Is that going to hold up for phase 2? Probably. But we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of variation in these ticket prices as we move forward. Okay. Another part, and this one I do have to shout out this website called roadtrips.com, and I should link them as well here. The other aspect here of this particular website, okay, and I think it's important that a lot of people started realizing this, was those category 4 tickets, right? Everyone started talking about category 4 tickets, right? So we're moving on from the ticket prices not being transparent to the tiering of the cities for these ticket prices. Now moving on to this supposed category 4 tickets that FIFA promised this was going to be the most exclusive World Cup ever. Bullshit. Like, we just have to call it as it is. That it was straight up 100% bullshit. Because if you look at the seating chart for all of the stadiums, SoFi, this little section over here, and the other two on the other ends are the only ones for category 4 seats. Like, I literally have to move my own screen to show you where the other category 4 seating is at. This is absolutely stupid, ridiculous. we can describe it in a whole bunch of different ways. Okay, but this was absolutely stupid. Most inclusive World Cup. Stop lying to us, FIFA. Stop lying to us. If this was a all inclusive World Cup, only the 100 section would be category 1 tickets and the 200 sections would be category 2 tickets. But look how many of these seats are category 1. And this is just for SoFi, okay? I know that one of the most egregious examples of category 4 actually Lumen Field in Seattle. You got these two little corners that are not even facing the city, okay? That those seats are not facing the city. You're not getting no views of that category 4 seating. This is absolutely stupid. But it's stupid on purpose because FIFA wanted to maximize profits. Okay? And the evidence is in the pudding. Okay? No one at FIFA can come to me and tell me I am mislabeling what they're doing. Because this is everyone else is saying the same thing. Okay? I'm getting some comments here on the Instagram. By the way, chat, again, I am hosting a YouTube live right now, so you want to join me there, great, fantastic. Let me go ahead and catch up on some comments here. FIFA is #1 on my enemy list. Wow, we're starting the morning strong, chat, and this is from the Pacific Coast. Thank you, a soccer guy, for that. FIFA managed to vertically integrate scalping, and I agree with that assessment. That's from Colombia American Connection. I totally agree with that assessment because what they were able to do was bring in resale, no cap on resale prices, and that we already saw with the $60 tickets. No one is going to this World Cup for $60. Nobody. Because everyone that bought the $60 tickets began to resell it immediately when that resale market opened for $1,000. No one is going to this World Cup for $60. And that is the dumbest thing that we could have done. FIFA had the power to do many things. Okay? This is like failed incompetence or what's that for what they do with the iPhones, right? That this is what's it called? Failed obsolescence or something like that, where like it's been proven that the iPhone fails after a certain number of years. This was this was purposeful incompetence. Okay, FIFA had the power to tell everyone in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, around the world, do not buy from StubHub. They had that power. I brought it up to them October 2024 in a sports diplomacy conference here in DC. I told them, when are you going to start telling people not to buy from StubHub? They had the power to do this. They refused to take that power. They had the power to tell people, hey, we are going to do most inclusive World Cup. The entire 400 section, $60. No. No. Instead, they expanded the Category 1 seating to include Section 200s. Okay? And again, we could look at different stadiums, and it's the same story. Gillette Stadium, only 2 sections, Category 4 seats. Okay? Look at Kansas City. This was the most egregious one. The tippies of the stadium. You're basically changing the floodlights, chat. You're changing the entire floodlights. Okay? So, it was a garbage first phase. I agree. And again, thank you, Instagram, for joining in here. I am hosting the YouTube live stream here today. So go ahead and check us out on YouTube. This live will end in about a couple minutes. But this was just to get people all into the YouTube live stream. Let me answer some questions here on YouTube quickly. Right quickly. Cafecito with pan de bono. Solid way to prepare for the FIFA shenanigans. I agree. I do not have a pan de bono. But if you do want to support my work that I am doing for the 2026 World Cup, to provide you all the travel tips, all the news that you need to help you better prepare as a World Cup soccer fan, buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. Buy me whatever coffee you want. Okay, whatever amount of coffee you want, I will greatly appreciate your support there. Is this phase coming up for Visa card only? No, so we're going to talk about phase 2 in a bit, but phase 2 is going to be open. Okay? It's going to be open, okay? This phase 1 with this whole Visa thing, here's another thing that they could have done. They could have just kept it, the same credit card you applied with has to be used. They should have done that. But they did away with that rule. Then afterwards they said, no, you could switch to Visa credit cards. Well, that's what allowed for ticket scalpers to come in. That's what allowed for people to sell their accounts to be able to then get money from being able to, be in line to be able to do this and that. FIFA had so many opportunities to create a fan experience that would have allowed fans to be able to purchase tickets, to not see these ridiculous resale prices. But they did it on purpose. They failed on purpose because they want that bread. The fact that they're charging 15%, la quincena, they're charging la quincena dos veces to the seller and to the buyer in the resale market tells you everything. It tells you absolutely everything. This is a money grab operation by FIFA, period. And they cannot tell me I am lying because the evidence, again, is in the pudding. Okay, let's look at some other comments here. I bought 3 tickets for the same game. How do I make sure the seats are together? There would have to be a function there when you buy the tickets that says request for seating together. That might come up later on, but one of the things that FIFA was never really clear about from the get-go was how the seating was going to work together. I think if you go ahead and search seats together on the FIFA FAQ, and maybe I should put a link. I should link this up in my World Cup 26 page. I'm going to do that later on today. I'll link the FAQ so that way you can look at it. It says here, FIFA ticket and test does not guarantee seat together. A precondition for being seated together is that all ticket applications must be from the same matches, tickets, and product categories, which makes sense. The sit together functionality is only applicable when you're requesting to sit with individuals who have made different transactions. Okay, so yeah, that's your answer right there regarding seating together. And again, another thing that FIFA was not transparent about. If bought together under one profile, they should be together. Right, so if you buy it under different profiles, yeah, you're going to have a very tough time putting those seats together, okay? So thank you, AP Soccer, for that. Again, another great follow if you want to follow him from other World Cup content as well. FIFA is all about the money, not about the people. Unfortunately, that is ending up being more and more true every single damn day, okay? Ridiculous. Only one is why the section behind is Cat 1. Yeah, I agree. How is Phase 2 going to work? Who we're not. We're going to talk about that in a bit, okay? When applying for tickets, can you select more than one team to watch? You mean for the Team Series? No. Team Series, if you buy a Team Series ticket, you cannot buy any other group stage games. Okay, that is actually a rule there in FIFA. Thank you, Lucky Leo, for your cafecito, $25. I really appreciate you. That should get me 4 to 5 cups of coffee. That's going to power me at least for a couple of days. Thank you so much, Lucky Leo. If you're watching here on today's lives, thank you so much for your support. Everything the same, but you can use any card. Correct. So that's how Phase 2 is going to work, but we'll talk about Phase 2 in a bit. All the income generated by the World Cup ticket sales was the smallest piece of the pie, and FIFA was fine with that, not this time around. What FIFA's trying to do, too, is tell people, oh, look, all this money that you're spending, it's going to go to help improve the game around the world. Read the room, FIFA. The American public has had it up to here supporting foreign assistance programs, which to a point I disagree with. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things there, right? I think Americans overthink how much they really give to the world when they barely give anything. But when you have, for example, some certain countries that are doing really bad things right now, and we're giving them all that money, people are pissed off about that. For FIFA to come in and say, oh, you're going to help improve the world's game abroad, we're like, who gives a shit? That's the mentality that us Americans have right now. Who gives a shit about improving the game abroad? You're charging us $2,000 for tickets. We ain't that rich. We actually broke. So yeah. Okay, let's go through some other comments here, and then we'll continue here with some other questions, or actually more of the autopsy about this Phase 1. To be honest, most teams should have had Category 1 in the 200s and 202 in the 100s. Most of the luxury seating are in the 200s club level, which is actually very true. That's actually a very good, solid point there. It is true that a lot of the 200 seating, it tends to be more of the suites, but that's going to be more so in these sections right here, because I've been to Lumen Field. So this 200 section, not quite the suites. It's actually more here in these barred here areas in black, but it does depend per stadium, okay? But I definitely see where you're coming from with that comment. Hello from Winnipeg, Dale, Canada. What's going on? If we don't win any draws and can't get any tickets for any games we really want, when do you think FIFA is the best time to test the FIFA resale market? I think when all the tickets are distributed. So I would say after Phase 3, right, or Phase 3 and after. when you already know where exactly these teams are playing in what cities at what times, etc. I think that's going to be a better point for you because then at least you know, okay, I'm going to spend $600 on Argentina versus not Sierra Leone versus Cabo Verde. At least I'll know the game, and at least I can then make a price determination as to how much I should spend for those tickets. So yeah, I would say that's probably the best point after phase three. Okay. Um, okay. Any other questions or any other comments about phase one? Because I think I've covered most of them. FIFA was not transparent on prices. FIFA was not transparent about the process. Remember, we did not get a single email about how phase one was going to work, but dear Lord, we got like 10, 15 emails about the right to buys. And that's a whole separate video I probably should and could make. But the TLDR that happened in this past month, if you missed it, I got banned from the FIFA Collect Discord server for calling them out. And then they unbanned me because they obviously got a lot of pushback from people in the comment sections. And it was like, oh, oops, our bad. It was actually a bot that blocked you. Sure, we'll leave it at that. Not gonna fight it. I am back in the FIFA Collect Discord server, but I'm only sharing the link to the Discord server for those of you that have RTBs because I never ended up buying one. And so that is a whole separate thing. There was lack of transparency about those RTBs, and then when the AMA was hosted on October 7th, people were pissed about how 98% of the tickets that people can buy from these right to buys are category 1 and category 2 tickets. 70% category 1, 28% category 2. So these right to buys ended up being a very expensive way for you to buy the most expensive tickets for the World Cup. Como papi. O sea, yo dije que eso se veía como una estafa. Right? Scammy. Yo lo dije así. Pero no joda. Es que como no lo vas a ver así como una estafa. Le dijiste a la gente, vas a tener acceso primero a la boleta. Luego fue, no, vas a tener acceso exclusivo a la boleta. Y luego les va a decir que va a comprar categoría 1, la más cara. No joda. Cualquiera pues con razón la gente se puso brava. De razón la gente se puso brava, hermano. Imagínate esa vaina. So, and then phase one, of course, then with the emails, right? Every couple of days, a new batch of emails went out, and people got their emails, and people were like, oh my God, when am I getting my emails? When am I getting my emails? And then it ended up being that eventually a lot of us didn't get emails. I didn't get an email. I got the rejection email. But before I got the rejection email, I got yet another right to buy email after October 7th, after they told everyone what the situation was going to be with these RTBs. Amazing. Vicente Presi, muchas gracias. $10 thank you for your coffee support. Vicente Presi, muchas gracias. That's 2 cups of coffee right here in Northern Virginia. It is a little bit more expensive, and it's gonna get more expensive. El café se va a poner más caro because Trompito needs to go on fighting against nuestro pueblo colombiano, and he's gonna put a gazillion tariffs over there. Va a cobrar más el café. So this coffee is gonna get more expensive, chat. I might have to ask you for double. Pero no ahorita. Bueno, listo. Okay. Let's see. Any other things about phase one? I've been going on for almost 25 minutes about phase one. I don't think there's anything else. It's over. It's done. Okay. If you did not get the email, we're done. Okay. Phase two. Let's move on then to phase two. Do I have a Venmo, Giovanni? Yes, I do. At Travel Football Fan. If you want to Venmo me the cafecito money, go right ahead. Or you can also go to that website, buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. If you want to go ahead and show your love and support for the work that I've done here. So phase two. Okay, we're gonna apply. Well, right now it's closed. Right, as you can see here on the screen, the portal is closed. Okay, the next phase will begin on October 27th. Here is my PSA to you. Do not apply on October 27th. I'm going to repeat that. My PSA to you about phase two, do not apply October 27th. Because if you remember what happened on September 10 with the Visa pre-sale draw registration, ese website se fue pa'l carajo. No one could get in for 4 hours. Okay, most of you. I know some of you were able to get in like this. I don't know what VPN you were using, pero bueno. Pero Ese website de la FIFA, kaput. Kaput. No? So just wait. You have from October 27th to the 31st. Also, FIFA did not give a damn if you applied a las 2 horas on September 10 because a lot of people were like, oh my God, but I applied on September 10. They didn't give a shit. FIFA didn't give a shit. All right. They hired a team of humans to go through that list, which was in and of itself weird. It's like, we gonna hire monkeys? Like, it's weird. Anyway, okay. So October 27th through the 31st, we're all going to reapply again. The difference this time is that you do not need a Visa card. This is wide open. It's like how Black Friday used to be. People lining up outside Best Buy and all these other stores, and then cuando abrieron las puertas, todo pa'l carajo, todos se metían ahí a pelear a ganarse la tele. Okay? It's gonna be open season when? We don't know yet. So we're applying for phase 2, October 27th to the 31st. I'm gonna say, and I know AP.soccer could also back me on this as well, sometime after the World Cup qualifiers conclude, mid-November, that's when we're gonna go ahead and buy tickets again blind, again sin saber dónde va a jugar, cuáles equipos en qué ciudades. We don't know when, we don't know where, but you're gonna have access to those. So again, if you want tickets for the final, for the semifinal, for any of the knockout rounds, for the inaugural of any of the 3 host nations, if you want tickets to those games, phase 2, you have to do it. Y recuerda, the prices are subject to change. We're probably going to buy more expensive tickets in phase 2. Porque de nuevo, FIFA has been so incredibly, purposely incompetent of not releasing a price table for these tickets on purpose. So in that way they can say, oh, well, this just happens to be the price. No, papi. No, it's that you guys don't want to be honest with people, okay? So we're probably paying for more for tickets sometime after after November 15, November 16, when the World Cup qualifiers end. I know that there's still the Intercontinental playoffs. I know that, okay? But that's when we're probably buying, okay? I'm going to drop an exclusive piece of news right here, right now. Okay, I'm going to drop an exclusive piece of news that I've been holding on. Okay? I've been holding on to this piece of news for a while. I have not shared it. I think we can share this right now. Okay, even my wife is like, wait, what the hell are you talking about? All right, everyone ready? The draw for the Intercontinental playoffs will happen end of November, and it is confirmed that Guadalajara and Monterrey will host the games for the Intercontinental playoffs in March. Okay, sometime end of March. So that all that information is confirmed. I can confirm it right now with the sources that I have. Okay, so if your team is in the Intercontinental playoff, Los Bolivianos and the New Caledonians, that's when you're gonna pay attention. You could technically buy tickets for the World Cup, but that's assuming that your teams will get to the World Cup. But they have not released information on how you can buy tickets for the Intercontinental playoffs, which I really do think is going to be a really cool experience to go to Mexico during the Intercontinental playoffs to maybe hopefully witness a World Cup environment. I mean, it's the World Cup. Let's be honest. It's the World Cup, but with much lower price points. I think that would be a great opportunity for you to go to Guadalajara and to Monterrey if you were not able to get tickets during the actual tournament to go to those cities. I think that would be a fantastic opportunity to go to Guadalajara and to Monterrey. Okay? All right. Perfect. So that's the news I wanted to drop. Instagram, thank you so much for joining me here. Go ahead and join me on the YouTube live stream. I want to give some love to TikTok right quick. So thank you so much, mi gente. Thank you, Instagram, for joining us today. Appreciate them. They've been really, really, really good on support these last couple of weeks as well. Been able to pop in on the YouTube on the Instagram live streams, and they've just been fantastic to say the least. So let's go ahead, pop in on TikTok right quick. But let me go through some comments here. I haven't answered some questions here on the chat. How many tickets are going to release in phase 2? Good question. It should be more than 1 million tickets, but I don't have a specific number right now. When you purchase your seats on phase 1, it tells you that the tickets are together. If you have someone that purchased a different order, you have an option to enter the order number. They will try. That's correct, Lucia. Thank you so much for sharing that. Leo, thank you again for the coffee. Really appreciate it. Is there a follow your team package for USA? Yes, it was sold out, but remember, those TSTs for the USA are going to be hell of expensive. They're going to be hella expensive. Okay, um, especially if you are one of the teams playing against one of these home teams. Okay, specifically here, question 6: will I be required to pay an opening match premium for one if one of the matches in my team series ticket package is allocated to match 1, 3, or 4 after the final draw? The answer is yes. You have to pay more. How much more? Up to 140% more. O sea, as much as I would like for Colombia to uh, put the ghosts of the past and wreck the USA 5-0 at SoFi Stadium, I don't want Colombia to play the United States opening match, because then I am definitely not going to that game, because that game is going to cost me several $1,000s at the least. And if you think I'm joking, again, this was the price list for the US opener. There is no category 4 seats. I am paying at minimum $1,100. But again, these prices subject to change because of FIFA's variable pricing. So, ahí se jodió toda la vaina. Dude, it pisses me off. People think Americans got money like the Saudis. That's because we did it to ourselves, Chad. We live in credit card debt, bro, and that's why people think we got all this money. But and you know this, if you go ask tus familiares en Latinoamérica, ellos piensan que todos somos ricos, pero no ven la realidad, la deuda, el costo de la vida aquí, toda esa vaina. They don't see that shit, right? Because they think that a lot of things are better here, pero la realidad, like you said, man, not there's barely any middle class left, right? And people don't got money like that here. You think there's still time to get a credit card and earn enough funds, or no, especially for the final? You mean travel points or miles or cash back? Um, I think there is still time, because again, with phase two, you're not required to have a specific credit card, and the ticket sales, if you get accepted, will begin sometime mid-November. So there is still time. Okay, make sure that you get a credit card that actually works for you. Okay, I know on my website, travelfootballfan.com, I have several referrals to a bunch of different credit cards, okay, that I have. However, if you're unsure about which credit cards work for you, you can book a consultation with me, which again, you can do that on my website, travelfootballfan.com, or conduct your own research, okay? Several great websites for you to check out: nerdwallet.com, bankrate.com, investopedia.com. All great websites for you to see which credit cards work best for you and your spending habits, and hopefully it should be able to come in the mail on time for you to use for these World Cup tickets. Funny enough, actually, funny story. Another quick funny story here as we continue with this review. So I did end up getting, well, my wife, I should say, ended up getting this credit card here, the Atmos Rewards Summit credit card. Okay, this is the new Alaska Airlines Premium credit card. And the intent of getting this card was is that we were going to buy the World Cup tickets phase one, and that would meet the minimum spend here. We're going to end up meeting the minimum spend without having spent a single dollar on World Cup tickets. That's how expensive these babies are, first of all. But we're going to end up getting the extra 100,000 miles and the other perks that this credit card has for us, um, just by that spend. So I could technically be on the lookout for another credit card, but that might not make the most sense for me right now. In any case, you have my consultations if you need more help figuring out which credit card might work best for your travel and spend needs. And that's what I always tell people. Okay, just because I have a certain number of credit cards or a certain type of credit card does not mean that it works for you. So just make sure that the credit card that you end up signing up for makes sense for you. Okay. Thank you, TikTok, for joining me here this morning. Quick couple of things here. Tap the screen in front of you right here. Make sure you're following me, supporting me across all other socials. Again, folks, I want to remind everyone this live is being sponsored by Mas Plus by Messi. I want to thank the GOAT for sending me a couple of crates of his Powerade. I guess I should say. I shouldn't say Powerade. My bad. This is good stuff. Actually, this is pretty cool stuff that Messi, the GOAT himself, has recognized my work during this World Cup coverage. So it's really awesome that he has sent me these drinks. They're actually very good. Not sugary at all, which is really great. You know, especially at my age, I need to worry about my sugar consumption. So I know I'm kind of putting myself as Unc status right now, but it's all good. Y'all call me Uncle already as it is. So again, thank you to Mas Plus by Messi for sending me their drinks on over here to my home. Also, if you want to support my work for this World Cup, okay, you can buy me a coffee. You know I love my cafecito right here. Okay, so buymeacoffee.com/travel football fan. Buy me whatever amount of coffee you want to buy me. Okay, I will appreciate it. I'm needing more coffee now more than ever. Now that I'm a new father, I have not been taking to drinking coffee at night, but that's because I'd rather go back to sleep. Pero hey, I need all the coffee I can get to help me get through reporting all this stuff about FIFA, going through my fatherhood journey myself. So again, if you want to support my work, buymeacoffee.com/travel football fan. Already 77 of you have bought me a four-figure amount of coffee in dollars. It's amazing. It's amazing the amount of support that y'all have been showing for the work that I've done here. So again, thank you so much. If you want to be part of those supporters that are buying me coffee, you know, to keep me going, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all at this time. Okay. You bought questions here on the YouTube live stream, and again TikTok. Thank you for joining me here. That's like 10 coffees worth of Starbucks. How much is $10 worth of? It's about $100. If you send me $100, I will make that be worth not 10 coffees. I will make that worth 20 coffees, right? 20 times 5. Yeah, if you send me $100 through buymeacoffee.com, I will make that be worth 20 coffees. All right, $5 a coffee. All right, I love my vanilla latte. Most days hot vanilla latte, that gets me through the day. All right, so if you want to send me $100, that will get me 20 coffees. All right, darling. Okay, so you bought 102 ticket. Section 102 tickets for round of 16 in Qatar, but it was only 3,000 rial. Yeah, which I think is only a couple $100, right? I know I got someone from Qatar here on the TikTok live. He could probably tell me how much that is in US dollars. I think is that 300? Is that 100? Is that $300? I think that's only $300, right? Yeah, that's how stupid expensive this World Cup is. Okay. Do you have any idea for Mexico exchange market? So Mexicans, and this is where I will get political for 2 seconds. This is where La Presidenta Claudia Sheinbaum should get all of the flowers. And sure, some cafecito too. All right? Because she told FIFA, y'all not allowing resale and y'all are not allowing people to be screwed up by dynamic pricing porque en México no se hace esa vaina. And she told FIFA, you can't resell tickets in Mexico and you cannot dynamic price people. And FIFA said, damn, you know what? Our bad. Pero ¿qué pasa here in este país, in the USA? No one, not Republicans especially, nor Democrats, I will have to say that too. I will have to call out my own people too. Nobody has been advocating for fair prices for fans except for who? Zoran Mamdani, New York City mayoral candidate. Mr. Mamdani, if you want to go ahead and have a chat with me about these ticket prices too, I'll send you my resume for the World Cup czar position that you're looking to fill in. Please hit me up. All right, I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll go up the Amtrak from DC, every couple of days. All right. Only one politician, he's not even elected yet, has talked about forcing FIFA to give, non-dynamic price tickets to city residents, has talked about not allowing for resale, uncapped. Zoran Mamdani. So, mi gente, when you say, oh, I don't do politics, or you should stop mixing politics and sports, that is exactly why you do it. And that's exactly when you do it. When these people pass policies and laws that screw you over with your wallet. You're forced to take out more money out of your damn wallet to pay for tickets. Doha 2022 here on TikTok. The final match was worth $2,000. Category 1, right? If I'm not mistaken, Doha. Category 1 ticket, $2,000. How much is it now? Times 3 for Category 1. Imagínate. Okay? So for Mexico tickets in the exchange market, you cannot transfer a ticket that you bought in Mexico. So a Mexican national cannot transfer a ticket to a non-Mexican national. Those tickets stay in the Mexico ecosystem. Very good for them. Very good for Presidenta Sheinbaum. Very good for the Mexican people. Any updates on volunteering? What I've been hearing is that they've had to extend the application for volunteering on some cities because there really hasn't been the demand for it. I mean, come on. I mean, FIFA already making so much damn money and they want volunteers still. Como que No, sean un poco, tengan un poco de vergüenza, no joda. Like at least pay people a stipend or some crap. Um, I heard what's this joke? Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to catch up here on comments here on YouTube. I heard that FIFA has been told to prioritize ticket applications of Republicans. Well, they definitely didn't send me an email, so who knows? Did I go to the No Kings protest? No, I had to coach some soccer games that day. Also, what's going on in Chicago? You got plans of anything for your family? Well, you know, my family lives in Miami, so we've been in this struggle before with immigration and deportations and stuff. Chat. I think I've been honest before about how I was deported, even though I'm a U.S. citizen when I was like 6 years old. So I've been very frank and open and honest about that because as people say, oh, this shouldn't be happening, and it's like, man, this should been happening a long ass time, right? Obviously, what happened in Chicago with the cancellation of the Argentina Puerto Rico game, I think in part it was ice. I do think in part it was also they trying to oversell or overprice these tickets too much, and they just didn't sell enough. That's also a total possibility. But I appreciate y'all looking out for my family. I do appreciate that. Look, man, I'm always gonna unapologetically be fuck ice in this in my work in my World Cup coverage, because they're not here to help anybody. Okay, they're here to um, terrorize our communities. Is really the only way I could say it. I'm always gonna be 100% real about it because I've had to deal with them. When I was 6 and when I was 20, 21 years old when they harassed me in the Amtrak ride down back from school. So I've dealt with them personally, and I have no respect whatsoever for these individuals. Now, I'm going to be also honest about their presence at the World Cup. They are going to be there at the World Cup. I mean, look how they're like, they got so pissed off about Bad Bunny right away, right? They got so pissed off about Bad Bunny, they didn't even take a day. Literally the next morning, yo, we're gonna have ice at the Super Bowl to catch any illegals. And I know some people are like, hey, yo, but who's going to go? Si eres indocumentado, who's going to go spend $12,000 to go watch the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny? And I get that. A vast majority of immigrants that are coming here to the U.S., they're coming here to work. They're coming here to send money back to their families. But then I thought about it, and this will be kind of like a quick tangent before we come back to some more comments and discussion of the World Cup. But quick tangent, now that we're here about this. Why can't a person who worked their ass off go spend that $12,000 to go see Bad Bunny in the Super Bowl? Why? Because they don't happen to have documentation to be in this country? Why can't they? See, the reason why I say it is because I think too many times we see, especially Latino immigrants, as hardworking people, and we are very much a hardworking people, but never, 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 never once do we see them as people having fun, people going on vacations, people flying first class like yours truly. I got a bottle of Dom Perignon from Emirates Airlines in the fridge. We're ready to pop it somewhere. I need a TV segment. Thank you. I probably do need one. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Why can't Latinos go have fun? Why can't we go and if we wanted to, if we had the FU money in our pocket, spend $12,000 to go to the Super Bowl watch Bad Bunny? I probably wouldn't. I need those $12,000 right now for the diapers and for the cafecito. Pero why can't un indocumentado, if he worked his ass off, he has no family, goes that money to, go spend that 12K to go see Bad Bunny and go watch the Super Bowl? Fucking work for it. Ain't that the whole point? Anyway, I'll leave it with that little opinion segment there. Let's complete some quick questions. I do got to go and be on that grind of feeding the baby once more. I was able to put her to sleep a couple hours ago, but she's awake now. So let's go ahead and finish answering some final questions here, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up this live stream here for today. Thank you again so much for joining me here today. Again, this live is being supported by Mas Blues, the GOAT. Sent me a couple of crates of this lovely drink. They have different flavors here. Great for hydration purposes. Trust me, with these lives going, 45 minutes, an hour long, I need to stay hydrated. I'm drinking my coffee right now, but trust me, I'm going to pop up one of these off right after the live. So again, I want to thank the folks at Mas Blues for sending me their drink right here. So there you go, Mas Blues. Thank you, Messi. And again, if you want to support my work, if you felt any of my content has helped you with your World Cup preparations, buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. You could buy me a coffee there. If you wish to Venmo me directly as well, at travelfootballfan, if you wish to do it that way. But again, just buy me a coffee, all right? Any amount of coffee you want to buy me, fantastic. It's going to help me power through these next 200. How many days we got? How many days do we got? Man, see, I'm losing a little bit of the timeline a bit, but we got 233 days to go to the start of the 2026 World Cup. So we're almost there. All right. Black Friday, those were the days. Mid November to early December buying period. Yeah, somewhere around there for phase two. It's you experienced the Intercontinental Playoff in Qatar. You recommend? Yeah, I definitely would recommend you guys going to Guadalajara and Monterrey for sure. So yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Rip 1994 Colombia goalkeeper. Yep. Agreed. Thank you for that. Let me catch up on some other comments right here. Do you think FIFA will give you a 48-hour window before you buy tickets on phase two? I don't know. If I remember from Qatar, there was no 48-hour window, so we'll have to wait and see. Will there be more tickets available in phase two? Yes, we just don't know how many. Bro, I see you got Qatar Airways travel packages. You see the Qatar Airways travel packages is a recommended. More than likely, no. The amount of miles or the amount of money that it costs to buy those specific travel packages is a lot more. I could recommend the Absolute Sport travel packages if you want to take a look at those as well. You can send me a DM either through Instagram or TikTok, and send me your email, which team you wish to follow. But with the American Airlines offer that they did on AA vacations for the World Cup final, they were charging almost 900,000, actually over 900,000 American Airlines miles for 2 tickets to the World Cup final, which value wise it kind of does match, but reality you can use those 900,000 American Airlines miles to fly business class like about what 8 to 12 times. That's more valuable. So yeah. Yeah. So thank you. Catching up on some questions here of my political commentary that I did say. Do you need to register again for phase two? Yes, they just haven't opened up that registration just yet. Um, FIFA could pay volunteers, but it's a fantastic experience. Yeah, I'm not knocking down on the experience if you to be a FIFA volunteer. If you're young, if you have the means to support yourself during the phase of the World Cup and you're able to volunteer and gain connections and meet friends and all that stuff, do it. Absolutely do it. I'm just late 30s. I have a baby now. I can't volunteer. But if you're able to volunteer, sure, go for it. Go for it. Is there a greater than 5% chance FIFA moves game locations? No. This comment is in reference to Trump making these continuously stupid, idiotic threats about, oh, we're gonna take the games away from Boston and from Seattle and San Francisco because I want to deport more brown people and they're not letting me. Blah 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 blah. I've lived in DC for over 10 years. I can tell you what the difference between political theater and actual bullshit, or actually legit bad stuff. Whatever Stephen Miller says, pay attention to that ghoul. That guy is scary. That guy's an actual threat. Whatever Trump says, bro, he's the oldest president we've ever elected. He's se le está yendo la cabecita, bro. All right. So no, we're not moving any games. You think FIFA wants to get sued by Boston, San Francisco, and Seattle? No, no chance. Not only by the city, but by the hotels, by the restaurants, by the airlines. FIFA will basically lose all the bag that they just made in phase one. Okay. I don't plan to fly staying locally. I'm a student, never owned a car, not much money. Any tips for being able to attend the final? Papi, así te queda un poco difícil. No, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because I'm final tickets at several $1,000s. So just keep continuing to save up, and you are gonna need a credit card. So I would highly suggest you probably get on that. If you haven't built a credit history, try to get on that. But you're not gonna have a great credit card. I'll say that great in respect to being able to earn any sort of cash back or travel points and miles if you haven't really started doing any sort of credit history or anything like that. So yeah. Mas drinks, they're so good. Yeah, no. Again, folks, just another quick shout out to Mas Blues. Again, thank you, Messi. The GOAT has recognized my work during the World Cup coverage, so I appreciate that the GOAT sent me, his hydration drinks to keep me powered, to keep us going during the last 233 days to go for the 2026 World Cup. So yeah, it was fantastic. So I appreciate them. Hey, I gotta get the money, right? I gotta get the money. Gotta get the sport somehow. You need to get the volunteer role that is within the stadium. I did media, and at times in the media Tribune, got to see so much of the game. There you go. Yeah, there you go. A little quick hack right there for the for those of you that are interested in volunteering. Couldn't Trump and SCOTUS just give FIFA a favor and possibly force cities to pay FIFA an excuse of crime and safety? Games removed. Look, if we get to the point, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. If we get to the point where FIFA moves games from one city or multiple cities because of Trump, we're no longer in a democracy. I'm saying this as a person that has worked in civil rights and in democracy improvement of the United States as my professional career of over 12 years of work in nonprofits and in political campaigns. I think I'm gonna end the life like that. Maybe on a bit of a bad note, but no, no. I gotta say something positive. But let me say that part though. Let me say this part. If Trump moves games, if FIFA moves games because of Trump, we're no longer in a democracy. Because we're basically saying whatever he says goes. And there's a word to describe that, and it starts with the letter D. I'll leave that for y'all to decide. Let's do it on a positive note. We have 233 days to go to the 2026 World Cup. We apply for Phase 2 tickets next week, starting October 27 on a Monday. But again, don't crash the site right away. FIFA don't give a damn if you are first. You have until October 31st for Phase 2. In the meantime, save up a lot more money. Figure out your travel plans for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, because you don't want to be paying last minute for tickets. I'm trying to get my wife, we're trying to get ourselves organized for the holidays as well. Get that holiday travel organized and out the way, so in that way you are not paying premium pricing for travel. Why am I giving you that non-World Cup related travel tip? Because then that's extra money that you get to have for tickets and for the travel that you will have to spend for the World Cup. Okay? So make sure you're taking care of all your travel expenses for the holidays now. Better yet, host. Say, you know what? I'll buy the damn turkey. I'll cook the damn turkey. Just come to my house. That's a really good way to save money there. Okay? Let's wrap up. Okay? Again, thank you so much. Okay? Thank you for your patience. I know I'm not done one of these lives in about a month, but that's been the journey that I've been so far. Again, folks, if you want to support my work, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. You can buy me whatever amount of coffee you want to continue supporting my work, giving you this World Cup coverage from a travel and politics standpoint. So go ahead, buy me whatever coffee you want at buymeacoffee.com/travelfootballfan. No, I'm not volunteering. I'm too old for that right now. At least I'm not in a position to do that right now. Maybe later on in life. Okay. Thank you. Yes, thank you, everybody. Make sure you're following me across all socials as well. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. TikTok is probably going to end in a couple months when Trump talk takes over, and I'm not going to go there. So make sure you're supporting me on Instagram, TikTok. Yes, even until then. YouTube, of course, live stream. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Give this live a like. If you felt it was useful in any way, shape, or form, leave a comment on it. Let people know that I am still here. 233 days to go. All right. We will get there. Hopefully, we will all be able to watch at least one game. Ojalá. All right. This is gonna be. I guess I was correct when I said this is gonna be the most expensive World Cup in human history. It's probably gonna be the case. Last final comments here. Because these prices are unjust, people should be advocating. Yeah. Again, folks, if you want to be the change, I know it's a very cheesy statement, but be the change you want to be in this. You want in this world. I think that's how the phrase goes. So if you're in New York, support Mamdani. He has my full endorsement. All right, because he's been the only politician that's been willing to tell FIFA to not do dynamic pricing, give an X number of tickets to local NYC residents at fixed prices. So yeah, he's been the only political candidate in either party that's called out FIFA. So if you live in New York, the time is going to be soon for you to do early vote and to actually vote on election day in November. So if you want to be able to give FIFA a signal of how pissed off you are, you do have a choice. One, with your wallet. But I understand we all want to go to the World Cup. Next best thing, if you live in New York, vote for Zohran Mamdani on election day for NYC mayor. I think we'll end it like that. Be the change you want to see. Thank you. Be the change you want to see, chat. That's how we're going to end it on a positive note. Thank you so much, mi gente. Muchas gracias. I know vemos.